It was requested that I upload this particular match. However, because the audio got really wonky in my recording, I can't use any of the audio that was in any of my recordings from the beta, which really sucks, but it is what it is. So instead, I've decided that I want to do some commentary so that I'm not uploading an empty video to my channel. I'm going to try and explain what I was doing at every step of the way, but I can't really remember everything because I did play this a few days ago, rather than me playing in the moment, so I know exactly what I was thinking. Now, this map is the one I felt the most confident on, and Cell is the raider that I felt the most confident fighting. So I was like, all right, I think I've got some ideas on what I'm supposed to do here. I came into this match with Solar Flare, the grappling hook, the space pod, and the bouncing pod. The Solar Flare, however, was originally Kaioken on my moveset, so you're going to see me use it a lot when I was trying to fly away and just move across the map as quickly as possible. It's probably not something I'm going to keep using on my movesets. When I spawn in this area, I always go in the water first. I hate being in the water, so just making sure that I get those chests out of the way first is something that I really like. I get the rescue radar. Unfortunately, because it's level 1, I'm not entirely sure where I'm supposed to go. I just do my best to rescue people as they come across them, but it's really hard to do that with the base radar. Now, I thought to myself I'd have more time to try and get that second person. Otherwise, I would have just, I don't even know, man. But even when I was trying to do that, Cell ended up getting in my way. I was like, oh, well, I gotta get out of here as quick as I can. And when Cell did this, I remember I was panicking. I did not expect Cell to go for that area as quickly as he did, and it kind of distracted me from trying to get survivors, especially because of the encounter that I'm about to have right now. Cell senses me, like, right here. And I remember I was hearing the heartbeat, and then Cell sensed me, and I was like, oh. I had panicked a little bit. That's why it took a bit for me to actually try and sense the, or to try and summon the space pod, because I kept thinking, oh, maybe I'll be able to hide, but no, that's Frieza I'm thinking of. You can't really hide from Cell, even at level 2. Another thing is that when I get into the space pod, I always try to take the time to see where everybody is before I land. That's not always a good idea, though, because that gives Cell time to just figure out where he wants to be and where you are, and if you wait too long, then when you come down, he can watch where you're landing and be like, all right. Fortunately for me, he didn't do this, so I was able to keep roaming around for free. You see me blasting things. For people who didn't play the beta or didn't watch my other tip, you want to shoot as much as you possibly can, because in doing so, you'll be able to get money or change energy from these things, and that'll allow you to power up. Putting the keys in is a very... It's not as, like, obvious as it would be. Because if you start putting in keys and Cell keeps powering up, then Cell can destroy areas and immediately force you into the defense stage at a point where you're not ready. However, I wasn't thinking about that. I just wanted to put the key in because I was like, maybe, having the key in will help us get to that final point. It really... Getting to Area X is a very strange thing, and I'll talk about that in a bit, but I want to talk about what happens here. I panicked again. Every time the heartbeat plays, I start to panic. I'm like, oh, let me hide. Even though, you can't really hide from Cell, as I stated. But, he didn't sense me, so I was able to get away without having to use my space pod. I probably should have. Instead, I start roaming around in an area that I'm already in. And I feel like this was one of, the very many mistakes that I made. But okay, so going back to Area X, the reason that it's not always a good idea to go into Area X as quickly as possible is because now, you see, we're all level 1, except for one person who's level 3. Cell is level 2. Cell can go and destroy the time machine and force us to escape. Cell doesn't do that in this match. Instead, I don't know exactly what Cell is doing. I think he might be hunting down the other players, but because of that, we had a lot of time. I go to Area B because I noticed those buildings aren't destroyed. I think that there are things there for me to get. Area B and Area D are my favorites to go to because of all the buildings and stuff that you can destroy all collected in one area. Now, once again, you see, Cell is not at Area X. Cell is not destroying the stuff that is there. So that gives us time to actually power ourselves up. Now, you see I'm able to get to level 2. and now I'm able to match Cell if Cell is able to, you know, drink too many more people. Though it's not going to be good for me. Now, once again, I don't always remember to use my skills. If I wanted to, I could have used the bouncy pad to get over this mountain much faster. And I might have been able to save somebody, but I still get there in time in order to try and distract Cell from that fight. And because of that, one of my other teammates is able to revive that downed player. I think they used a Senzu Bean to do that. My Solar Flare didn't have as much range as Cell's Solar Flare, so I had to just try my best to get away. Fortunately, Cell got distracted again. I think Cell went to go drink that person that was still down. Yeah, that's what Cell went to do. And so Cell had a bit of time where he was transforming. We had a little time to do whatever we wanted. The time machine is still empty. Nobody's there. Everyone's either fighting or they're doing their own thing or whatever. Now Cell at level 3 decides, okay, the time machine is halfway done. I need to go stop it. I panic here once more. Instead of using the bouncy pad to go up there, I'm like, oh, Cell will notice me trying to use the bouncy pad. What should I do? My answer is the space pod. The space pod will surely not be as noticed as the bouncy pad. So I go over there. I end up drinking the soda. I drink the soda first before I get to level 3 because the soda will restore more energy that way. I accidentally once again use Solar Flare instead. Cell is still just trying to break the machine instead of doing anything else. So I'm like, okay, if that's the case, I'm going to try and save the machine. I go to fight Cell. Cell comes to fight me as well. He uses Solar Flare from a distance. And at this point, a bunch of other people start to jump in and help me fight Cell. And I'm like, all right, sure. Clearly, these guys are also level 3. And then I look down and I'm like, oh, wait. I'm the only level 3 person here. Now, it took me until like this moment to notice it. And I'm like, oh crap. Maybe I should be leading on. And I decide, all right, fine. I'm going to do a little bit more fighting. There's one other level 3 person there, but I couldn't find them. I didn't know where they were, and they immediately went down. I didn't want to go down with the others, so instead I went over to drink the other sodas, and I was, once again, in a panic. I forgot that you can still drink the soda while transformed, and it'll just recharge your cooldown anyway, so I de-transformed first. That was a big risk. Everyone is down. I don't have any Senzu Beans. I don't have anything I can use to try and revive anybody or help anybody. So I'm like, all right, I will just do my best to stall Cell for as long as possible. And hopefully, you know, the machine will complete by that point. Once again, I panic, and I think, oh yeah, I can use Fang Fist to probably kill Cell. And that doesn't work. Obviously, it does less damage than I thought it would. And then I only have 30 points left, so I'm like, okay, I will use Fang Fist again, because I will not de-transform until after Fang Fist is over. That might give me a bit more time to stall Cell or do something of the sort. Fortunately, the last player was using that time to get to level 3, was able to transform, and was just barely able to jump in and stall Cell long enough for the time machine to be completed. Although, even if the time machine wasn't completed at that point, Cell was weakened to the point where he was gone. He was dead anyway. But yeah, so that was this match. This was a very oddly played match, but we won in the end, and it was fun. So I'm very happy, and shout outs to that last survivor.